Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and we got the Traitless Strat right here. We did manage to get like 3913. It could be slightly higher, up to like 4k, but it just depends on how your lore is feeling, because my lore did not want to pull half the time, and it did affect my run. But yeah, in terms of the team sub, this is what we're running, and we're going to be using Caloric Stone to bring in Gohan. And yeah, in terms of like the Memorias, let me save it to this slot, yeah. So yeah, ignore the familiars. In terms of Memorias, we've got Frozen Admiral, Frozen Admiral, Frozen Admiral, Frozen Admiral, Range Boost on my Astolfo, Frozen Admiral, and then for Gohan and Trunks, we're running. I forgot what it's called, mate. Where is it? Yeah, we're running Wand of Master and Disciple. Yeah, this one, mate. And yeah, that's it for the Memorias and stuff, and the team setup. Let's just get into the run. Alright, so as you can see, the team setup, we've seen in the intro. I didn't explain too much in the intro, because I wanted to shorten the intro. But yeah, I'm gonna see a lot of people saying, can I use Brook instead of Astolfo? No, not really. Astolfo is needed. Go get Astolfo. I'm tired of like people trying to ask for replacements for Astolfo, considering he's a perm unit, If he was limited, fair enough. But he's a perm unit, yeah, so go and get him, bro. Make sure you put your Gohan here in terms like just presetting his just typing his name up, just search and final in brackets, and you should just come up. Yeah, keep doing your Uma stats. We're gonna place our law here and set him to zone 3. So he's applying wanted consistently as soon as any enemy enters the range of the room, which is pretty much all the time. And yeah, wave 3, you're gonna prep your Gohan, place him instantly, and then so, and you'll see what I mean. So as like place him and so Eins, and then you do your Uma buff if you haven't done it already. Then do your Uma buff, place Eins again. The reason we're selling Eins is because he is the cheapest unit on our team, and upon selling him, you lose a stock. And if you every 4 waves you can lose a stock again. So wave 3, 7, and 11, and then by wave 11 you should have Trunks up, which is just a free maxed unit. And I'm placing my reses at this point as well, making sure they're set to closest. And yeah, the reason that Shanks is placed here, and the reason he is on the team, is to fill the unknown slot for the spells. Secondly, when any enemy enters his range and they have wanted, not enters, but like whenever they're in his range and they have wanted, they're set to damage reduction. The damage reduction is set to 0, so it helps a lot dealing with these enemies. And yeah, you can see Astolfo placing it down early as well. And when wave 7 hits, we're going to be selling and replacing our irons again. Yeah, and as you saw, I did sell my irons and replace them. But yeah, I got my All of the Overload buff going, so I upgraded Uma once and then put a few upgrades into um Astolfo, get his Hippogriff going, move Astolfo down there with the ability, and I'm gonna bring him back soon. But yeah, as you can see, we're just waiting for wave 10. These amount of leaks are fine, you can deal with them. It shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, now you get Astolfo back. And as soon as the boss spawns, when he hit wave 11, you sell your Shanks and replace it. So selling Shanks, you set your Trunks to bosses, and then you replace your Shanks over here in his ideal spot. Set him to closest again, and here you put a few upgrades into your Resi as soon as the boss reaches this part. And yeah, you can see the boss is going to take a lot of damage just from Trunks, to be honest. And yeah, Trunks should just deal with that boss, even by the time it loops around as well. Because Trunks gonna be constantly hitting that. And now you're gonna set your Trunks to closest targeting, so it can hit the mobs right in front of him. So set my Trunks to closest, and he deals with most of the mobs right in front of him. And now you're gonna keep doing your Uma stuff, and you're gonna get one Resi to full AoE ASAP, so just keep upgrading the Resi. And then at this point, you switch your Trunks to first, or slash bosses, whichever one you do, so you can target the boss and deal with the leaks. And your Trunks will do a lot of damage to the boss, and yeah, the summons will just clear off. And yeah, it should just die at that point. And yeah, for like the most part, you can have auto skip waves on. If your leaks are way less than mine, then you can go fully auto skip on. But if you have like leaks like mine, when it gets to like wave 19, you turn auto skip off. But yeah, you can see for the most part, the strat isn't too bad. It's just upgrading units in a specific order. It gets slightly harder towards the later part of the run. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, once you have one resi maxed out, it should be slightly easier in terms of dealing with these mobs. But as you can see, they're still not getting bombed off because you need two resis to actually do the bombing. But yeah, with the amount of leaks I have at like wave 19 or 18, I have to just turn auto skip off just to deal with these mobs. But you want to make sure you upgrade this resi as well. And yeah, you can see dealing with it. There's one little thing I noticed on this map. It's kind of strange, but your summons and your Uma can just teleport. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just this map specifically or just a general issue. I've been told it's like already known, so probably will get fixed like next update. But at this point, you want to turn auto skip waves on if you have this many leaks, just so you can get more yen and you can deal with the leaks. But at this point, you want to make sure you upgrade your resi to the max upgrade straight after the other one attacked. So you see the damage trigger on the initial resi that is maxed, and then you max the other resi like a second after. This is so they're like proccing the primed passive instantly. So it's perfect in terms of that. And yeah, these leaks are pretty low, so it should be fine, even if the boss does spawn now. So you have trunks set to bosses, and trunks it should deal with the boss that spawns. And with the primed two resis maxed out, and the third one eventually about to be maxed out. You see the same thing I'm doing right here. As soon as the resi attacks, I upgrade the other one. You just look at the total damage. If the total damage moves, that's when you do it. And you can see this boss is just gonna get nuked and it's gonna be dead. So that was one hit, and then the second hit, and then it's dead. And yeah, from wave 22 to wave 30, there's not much you need to do. But make sure, this is the little thing that you need to do. Make sure you place a law right here. And I'll explain it once I start doing it. You're gonna make sure you give Astolfo's buff to him. And yeah, the main thing that you want to know is that law on the ship, the reason he is there, with the 30% range from Astolfo and Ainz's buff, plus the Memoria giving him slightly a bit more range, he is able to cover that whole path in zone 2. And I'm sure you guys understand how vital that is, because him covering that whole path means that none of the mobs can regain their gears. Meaning all the mobs are not going to have any armor stacks on them. They're going to be completely at 0 damage reduction. Of course, those with resilience won't be at exactly 0% damage reduction, but you know what I mean. It won't be like they're not having extra damage reduction from the gears, which makes it so they're a lot less stronger, which means that your Uma can actually do damage to them. Because I've noticed if the mobs have armored, there is some case that Uma just does no damage. So yeah, not much you can do, but yeah, you can see that this low placement, you'll see when I do max him, he can cover that whole path. And yeah, you're gonna upgrade Irons slightly so he can actually have low in his range. So it's like upgrade 10, I think. But yeah, now you're gonna be upgrading your Astolfo. But first your Uma, of course. Your Uma first and then Astolfo. So that's one thing why Astolfo is important and it's like a very good tournament unit because it allows you to give the map pad buff to anyone pretty much. You just teleport to them, 10% range, 20% damage, and you teleport back. You're always having that buff consistently. It doesn't go away. That's why Astolfo is like very OP. And then it has the spear, and his spear is so broken because it just takes 15% off the enemy HP. And what's nice about it, it counts towards the prime passive as well. So like, let's say there's 50 mobs in range, I hit 50 of them. That means it's 50 more mobs that have the primed effect. So it means the nuking is gonna be a lot better as well. Because you'll see the wave 30 boss. I think in this run, she gets nuked off so easily. But you can see now we're gonna start maxing this lore. So once Uma and Astolfo is max, we just auto upgrade that lore and just let him deal with any leaks. And yeah, you can see Anami's in this winning at wave 30, you can see the top. And she's quite frustrating because she's very fast in it. And as the waves go onwards, she's getting even faster, but you'll see how easily she just gets killed off. And that's pretty much because of the spear, you know, it makes a big difference. So as soon as wave 31 hits, I do my Uma stats, and then I prep my Astolfo spear. So Uma stats real quick. And then you hover over Astolfo, prep your spear into this location right here. As soon as you see the boss, you just do it. And boom. There's a lot of enemies there now. They got primed, and look at the boss's HP. You see what I mean? The boss just can't live at all. And at this point, if it's that low, and if it does live, the summons at the back and the summons will just kill it off. And now that my lore is maxed, I switch it to zone 2. And you can't visually see the actual zone because I don't have VFX on. But yeah, it's covering all the bends. So it means that no mob is gaining armor stacks back. And you know, set Shanks to last. The reason I don't max him earlier is because I want him to not have his passive up. Because his passive is going to make it so there's less enemies in our range. And it's not really good for nuking that wave 30 boss. Because the more enemies you have in the range, the more primed enemies, you know what I mean? But yeah. Now, at this point, we can max him. And you'll see the number of enemies on the map just starts decreasing like steadily. Because... And you can see when you look at the new spawning enemies, they're not going to be clumped up together. There's going to be a lot of gaps now. But they're just dying off so easily now. See what I mean? Like we're below 70 enemy count now. So it's like consistently just going down. Shanks' DPS isn't doing much. He's just there for that passive, that third passive where he sets the damage reduction to 0. And yeah, once Uma is up as well, it makes things so much easier. Have a Trunks is placed on a master as well, so you can actually do shit. And the last final unit that you need to max, or not final, second last unit, is the law over there. That law is very important because he's going to be pulling enemies back. Make sure he's closer to the path below him than the path above him. If he's closer to the path above him, you're just going to pull to that point, which is not ideal, and it means your run is shit and cooked over. But yeah, once he's maxed, you send him to zone 2 for now, and later on we'll switch him to zone 1 once there is leaks. But yeah, now you're going to upgrade this law at the front. Just slightly, and then you max upgrade irons at this point. And once irons is maxed out, you put the upgrades into that law. So I think it was like 2 more upgrades there, and then I put it into my irons. So yeah, now Stolfo is maxed. Stolfo, I mean Uma is maxed. And now just auto upgrade my irons, and then after auto upgrade my law. And now the wave 40 boss, this is the most important boss in terms of your run, because if you don't kill him, you don't get a good score. Because wave 30 boss should die regardless, but wave 40 boss is why you need a Stolfo. You'll see what I mean. He has a lot of HP. He isn't really fast here, but just the amount of HP he has makes it so it's very hard to kill him. very like in a regular sense. But you can see the Iron Summon back there is just teleporting. It's so weird. But yeah, you wanna prep your spear as well again. Yeah, again, just prep the spear. And now you just wait here. So make sure you just prep it and you just wait. So as soon as the boss spawns, you wait a bit, I think, and then you do it. And yeah, now do it. And this boss has regen, so if Law does not um hit him with what is it? With the rupture, he's gonna be regenerating some HP. But yeah, you can see that we did a lot of damage to him. And even now he's still losing a lot of HP. And yeah, Trunks is doing a nice amount of DPS to him as well. And yeah, at this point there's a few leaks, so I showed him to zone 1. But you can see if the boss is around like 60 million at that point, or 65 million at that point, you're in a good run. Even if he's like 75 million, it should be fine. But yeah, you can see he's not getting armor stacks back, so Uma's doing so much damage to him. In a normal run, if you don't place that law on the mast, is it called a mast? I forgot what it's called, mate. But on the ship, yeah, he is gonna be taking a lot less damage. You know, make sure you're only pulling enemies right in front of you, not the ones behind you. So you can see this boss takes so much damage, you know. Law pulls it, and yeah, you're in a good spot. So now it's close to the Trunks again. Trunks is gonna do a lot of damage to it as well. And yeah, you just keep pulling as long as enemies in range. If no enemies in range, you switch the zone to ASAP. When I mean no enemies in your range, I mean like no enemies right in front of you, you know what I mean? Like the way you're facing, the way the summons are coming from. And yeah, this is where the run gets annoying because if these enemies do leak, it just cooks over your run. So you just need Lord to be consistent. And there's a lot of times where he just Fs up like that, which is very annoying. But as long as the high HP ones get pulled, you're fine. But you must kill that off pretty easily. As long as the high HP ones get pulled, you're fine. You see, like right here, that one's very high HP, it got pulled. There's a bit of RNG in this. There's not much you can do about it, but yeah, it is what it is. So as long as the ones that have a lot of HP get pulled, you're fine. I think there was an instance where a high HP one did not get pulled and it messed up my whole run. That guy, I think he's fine. He should die off. It's like, it's so annoying how some of them just don't get pulled. I think it was this one right here, yeah. Him not getting pulled messed up my whole run and changed it like by a mile. Like, there was nothing I could do. I just had to waste my Iron's nuke. And I was thinking, will he die? Will he not? But yeah, he won't die. So yeah, at this point, just switch your Lord to Zone 2 because all enemies are going to be dying regardless. So I'll switch him to Zone 2. And yeah, you want to use your Iron's nuke. So switch him to Zone 2, use Iron's nuke. Use it early as well because you don't want to misjudge it and eventually just die off. So around that point, just use it. You can use it slightly later, but no point. So everyone on the map should die and you just switch to Zone 2. And what's strange, yeah, is that somehow, even though it's newly spawned enemies, Rezi's just doing so much damage to them. Look at them. They're dying off, bro. It makes no sense to me. But Rezi was not doing this beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, look, they're just dying off at this point, yeah? When they're probably higher HP than the mobs beforehand. But the mobs beforehand were leaking. And yeah, you can see the boss there is white bit. I'm not killing him. Sorry, I want to mute you, but I was about to sneeze. But yeah, you can see the boss right here is white bit, so we're not killing him at all. Ideally, if you can die just to this boss, you got a perfect run. If you die off to the mobs, then of course it's not perfect, but there's not much you can do because the mobs do get tanky and your lore just messes up sometimes. And yeah, I realized you don't have to use a spear on the boss. It's kind of pointless. You should save your spear to use it on the mobs. Because like the mobs at this point, you see the ones that are like behind your lore right now? These are the ones that are an issue. And you can see right here, my lore just wanted to become just stupid. And he did not pull. And that's why my run is significantly less in terms of score. So I turned auto skip off. and I set all my units to weakest. The ones that can be sent. So like my laws and my trunks. And that's it for the run. Click yes when you're about to die, and that's it for the run. I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, and yeah, peace.